Welcome to Community Church Unitarian Universalist. I'm your worship associate, Jim O'Neill, and it's a joy to be with you this morning. For those new to our community, we are progressive, open-minded, and inclusive religious community. We welcome all who are on a spiritual search for truth and meaning. Ours is also a faith in action as we do the work of social justice and elevate compassion in our quest to live ethically, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every being. Please look to your weekly email for announcements, and we have M&M announcements this morning. That is Michelle and Marilyn.
Good morning. Good morning. We're a pretty small group this morning. I guess the rain is keeping everybody away. Just a reminder, today is the second Sunday, Social Justice Sunday. So we'll be taking up a special collection during the offering. And this month it's for the No Law Solidarity Choir. I assume that's a play on NOLA. NOLA, no law. Okay. I like a pun. Nick is going to tell us a little bit more about the amazing work they're doing right before we take up the collection. But also, we'll have our lunch after church. It's the bean soup, that Cajun bean soup that everybody loves, and some bread, and there's some other wonderful things out there. Josie brought some yummy stuff, and lots of food. And we take up a collection for that lunch, which is optional. The collection is optional, donations. But we're using that money for the community fridges to buy food for people who are experiencing food insecurity. And we did this last Saturday. It was amazing. We had a great turnout. We stuffed 3 community fridges with food. It was a beautiful thing to see. And we had scheduled a film for this afternoon, but once again, I'm going to take a show of hands. If you think the film, I'll just tell you, is called, sorry, I had it right here, Whose Streets, a documentary of the Ferguson protests following the killing of Michael Brown. It's an hour and 40 minutes. How many people think they would stay for that film afterwards? So just like 6 people. I mean, the 6 people, we can talk about it afterwards, after church, and we might go ahead and do it because this is our second month. We canceled it last month. Also, just to let you know, game night got canceled last minute yesterday because people had lots of other things to do. So we're rescheduling it for this coming Saturday. I'll send out a reminder text to anybody who's on my text list, and if you want to be on that reminder list, let me know. 4 to 6 Saturday here. We just come and play games for a couple of hours, and it's a lot of fun, so come out and join us.
Okay. Okay. This is my show and tell. Okay. Okay. You know, we're going to be having the plant sale in just 2 months. Okay. It's going to be May 9th, coming up very soon. And what we need is plants. Last year we had over 400 plants, and this was our first year doing it, and we made almost $1,000. And not only that, it was a horrible, rainy, horrible day, and in spite of all that, and being our first one, we made, that money. So we're looking for even more money this time, okay, more success. But we need plants. We have to have at least another 400 like we did last year. Okay. So you know how I've been in these little messages I've been sending out telling you that you need to root some cuttings. Okay. So I brought some rooted cuttings to give you some ideas. You know how you have boxwood and you trim your boxwood? Well, just stick some of the boxwood that you trim off into a little pot and voila, it takes root. I rooted this about a month ago. Okay, this is rosemary. You know how rosemary just, and you have to cut it back. You cut it back, you root it 3 pieces. Sometimes it doesn't take, but most of the time it does. So that's good. Okay. So those are ideas. Okay. Now the other thing is I talk about volunteers that come up in your garden. That's plants that, who brought this in? You usually just pull them out and throw them away. No, not weeds. So instead of pulling them out and throwing them away, put them in a little pot. Okay. Now this is some holly fern that just goes wild, and so I pulled it out of the garden and potted it. Okay. And this is another thing that you see frequently that'll prop up in your garden, this asparagus fern, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right. And then this is a yew tree. Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, it's a cute little plant like it is, you might even get 50 cents for it. Who knows, Okay. So there's that. Okay. Now, you need things to put them in, to pot in. So I do have some things here, a few little things you can use here. I'll put them out outside in the fellowship hall. Take what you want, and I'll have a lot more next week to bring and leave in the fellowship hall for you. Okay, but see this cute little thing? You know what this is down here? This is, you go to the grocery store and you get a fruit cup. That's what this is. And it made a nice little pot, right? Okay, so, you can use anything. You can use a little cracked teacup. You can use, other things like that. Okay, see, here's another one. You just some nuts came in this one. So. Okay, so that's my show and tell for the morning.
We got a question.
What?
Me.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention about labeling them, but with the popsicle sticks.
Well, I can do that when you bring them. But I will give you some popsicle sticks later on. As we get closer, I'll have popsicle sticks out for you if you want to label them. Okay. I do want to tell you that if you label them, be sure to use indelible ink, because if you use a water-based ink, it blends. The stick wicks up moisture and then it runs away. Right. Okay. So, thank you guys.
Thank you, Marilyn, and your assistant, Alan. Yes. We also want to welcome any new and returning visitors today. We hope you stay after the service for refreshments and fellowship. In the spirit of fellowship, please turn to your neighbors, especially those you may not know, and say hello.
Yes.
Today, we're delighted to welcome back to our pulpit Reverend Jacqueline Luck. All of you know and love her dearly, as we all do. She is a retired Unitarian Universalist minister after serving congregations throughout the United States. We're pleased that she is with us today and look forward to her message. And now, the call to worship.
Good morning. I thought I'd just have ducks out there this morning, if that. So thank you for being here. That's lovely. Joy Harjo, I hope you know her. If you don't, she's a wonderful Native American poet. Ties eagle and his circling in the eternal world in the Native American understanding of the circle within life. So there's the eternal world and the internal world. And the eagle is circling as a reminder of the relationship between the four realms: mind, body, spirit, and natural environment. Let us enter into worship with her words, and you may want to close your eyes and do some imaging. To pray, you open your whole self to the sky, to the earth, to the sun and the moon, to one whole voice that is you, and know there is more that you can see and can't see, can't know except in moments, steadily growing, and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in the blue sky, in wind swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. And we see you, ourselves, and know that we must take utmost care and kindness to all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we're born and die soon, and within a true circle of motion, like eagle, rounding out the morning inside of us. We pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty. Amen.
It is our ritual to light a candle, invoking hope and eternal truth to our worship. Please join us in singing the words of the chalice lighting, "We light this flame." The words are printed in your order of service. Our reading today is from Chief Seattle. In 1855, as he surrendered tribal lands to the governor of the Washington Territory, he spoke these words about the Native American way of right relationship. Every part of this earth is sacred to our people. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every clearing and every humming insect is holy in the memory and experience of our people. The sap that courses through the trees carries the memories of the people. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The deer, the horse, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The rocky crests, the juices of the meadow, the body heat of the pony, and the people all belong to the same family. The ashes of our fathers and mothers are sacred. Their graves are holy ground. And so these hills, these trees, this portion of the earth is consecrated by us. The shining water that moves in streams and rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors. You must teach your children that it is sacred and that each ghostly reflection in the clear waters of the lakes tells of events and memories in the life of our people. The water's murmur is the voice of our father's father. The rivers are our brothers, they quench our thirst. The rivers carry our canoes and feed our children. You must teach your children that the rivers are our brothers, and you must give the rivers the kindness you would give any brother. The air is precious to us, and it shares its spirit with the life it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather and grandmother their first breath also receives their last sigh. And the wind must also give our children the spirit of life. When we taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow's flowers, we must remember that it is sacred. The animals, our brothers and sisters. What are we without the animals? If all the animals are gone, we would die from great loneliness of spirit. Whatever happens to the animals soon happens to the people. All things are connected. You must teach your children that the ground beneath our feet is the ashes of our grandfathers and grandmothers, so they will respect the land. Tell your children that the earth is rich with the lives of our kin. Teach your children what we have taught our children, that earth is our mother. Whatever befalls earth befalls the sons and daughters of earth. This we know. Earth does not belong to the people. People belong to the earth. This we know. All things are connected, like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. Love the land as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. And with all your strength, with all your mind, with all your heart, preserve it for your children and love it as the Great One loves us all. Now is our sacred time of joys and sorrows. If you're online, you may write your joys and sorrows in the comments section to be read aloud. In person, you may write them on one of the cards being passed out by our greeters. You can remain seated as we sing in this beloved community. Oh, I'm sorry. Rising Green, of course. 1068 in your teal hymnal. Rising Green, 1068. From Jacqueline, giving thanks that her oldest son is recovering from emergency quadruple bypass surgery Thursday. He's 56. From Liz, a sorrow for the family of a dear friend with a child in crisis, and a sorrow for my student who continues to experience increased seizure activity with no apparent explanation. A joy for finding the courage to initiate a necessary change. From another, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with y'all. Likewise. And now we have to light 2 additional candles. One for the joy still bubbling up, too young to share, and one for the sorrows that we cannot yet put into words. Know that we hold you in our hearts. And now we pause for a moment of silence, recognizing the joys and sorrows of those in our community, spoken and unspoken.
Practicing the way of right relationship is to the Cherokee to walk in beauty. In order to walk in beauty, one must be open to the circle of life and the universe of harmony and balance. Everything around us is alive with spiritual energy and importance. This includes all animals, plants, people, rocks, minerals, earth, sky, sun, moon, and the stars. And the elements such as wind and fire and thunder and clouds, lightning and rain, all combined in an intricate system of interdependence and interrelationship. A fundamental belief in the medicine way is all things are connected. The universe is made up of a balance among all these things and the continual flow of energy cycling. And we have a sacred relationship. This is sliding, I'm sorry. 1 minute. My notes are sliding and it's driving me nuts. Much better. A fundamental belief in the medicine way is all things are connected. The universe is made up of a balance among all these things and the continual flow of cycling of their energy. And we have a sacred relationship with that universe that is to be honored every moment of every day through our thoughts, intentions, and actions. All things are connected, all things have life, and all things are worthy of respect and reverence. These are words of Michael T. Garrett. Who wrote the book, it's on the cover of the Order of Service too. I love the job that Charlotte does with the illustrations in our Order of Service. But Michael Garrett and his son, J.T. Garrett, joined together, partner, in writing books about the medicine of the Cherokee. I first became familiar with them when I was living in Northeast Tennessee because they live in the Northeast Tennessee Cherokee Indian Reservation, which is around Asheville, if you need a marker as to where it is. All things are connected. All things have life. All things are worthy of respect and reverence. These sound like such similar things to our principles, to the things that we believe in, our values. And so I've really enjoyed delving into Native American spirituality. Michael Garrett spent his life on the Cherokee Reservation, and he is a professor of counselor education at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. He's worked with children and adolescents in school and has been a group therapist in community agencies and taught several courses and seminars on cultural diversity. His father, J.T. Garrett, has a doctorate of education and also a member of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians from North Carolina. I tell you this because I want us to understand, or I want us to imagine that this wisdom that I'm going to try to share with you today is very ancient, but it is still applicable today. They're using it today in their work as they share with teenagers, adolescents, and people that are in disharmony. And they work to try to help them find the path of balance. I would also mention that I, as I said before, I find the visual images really powerful in Native American spirituality. Practicing so Garrett teaches, Michael, being open to the circle of life flowing through us with his Cherokee teaching called Open Hands, Closed Hands in his book. And I'd like you to, let's practice it together and see how it goes. Will you clench your fists as tightly as you can and keep them clenched as long as you can, as tightly as you can, and observe them. Notice your fists. The knuckles are white. The nails may be biting into your flesh. The arm begins to turn red. Mine quiver more. Feel the tightness of your body. May even be, if you weren't speaking, straining in your jaw and your neck, and your teeth might be clenched. Arms are rigid, tight muscles. You can feel the strain across your back, across your chest. And it doesn't feel good. This is the stressful way of the clenched fist. Now open your fist, palms up. Feel your body relax, as if sighing. Oh. Some of us may even unconsciously smile. Instead of a tense fist, your hands are open and ready to receive the gifts of life. The way of the clenched fist stifles presence of mind. It suffocates our spirit and disrupts harmony and balance. Holding your breath, which we often do too, is not a feeling of calm and clarity, but rather holding breath, and he's got it in quote marks, it's another lesson. Holding breath is a feeling of tension and restlessness. And we begin to, he uses the term black out. Blacking out metaphorically represents the onset of illness in any of the four realms of the circle: mind, body, spirit, and natural environment. We cannot help but hold our breath sometimes, of course, because the challenges in life are real and they are great, but not constant holding our breath. It's unwise. It takes energy to clench our fist and frown or to hold our breath. It's not free-flowing energy, but choppy, disrupted energy, going from us and returning to us as restless rippling on the lake of our consciousness. I love that phrase. As restless rippling on the lake of our consciousness. It takes a lot of energy to lead a choppy way of life and to keep ourselves closed up tight like clenched fists. It takes energy to open ourselves up to things around us, to notice things we've not noticed before, to experience things we wouldn't have experienced if we hadn't deliberately tried to notice them. And it does take some risk, but opening to life doesn't mean just opening up completely to experience things that come rushing in at us. It means being able to open when we want to, and doing so without fear and regret. So we don't give up our determination of our own lives. We use it in moderation. It's important also to note that this opening up is not really a catharsis. And a catharsis is the idea of transitioning by stirring things up and just getting it all out. This process that the Garretts speak of means to open up to the mutual relationships that occur within the circle of life, relationships which we are giving and receiving in a respectful manner. and thereby strengthening and deepening our presence of mind. This is important for all healing, but it is important also for simple living, for learning and growing. This opening up is seeking a place of calm in the circle through harmony and balance. The goal is connection to the four realms: mind, body, spirit, and natural environment. Allowing the circle of life to move through us. I have come to understand that I have to make room in my mind or my heart to experience the sacred. Though often in hindsight, I recognize it. It was there, but I was so, I didn't experience it. I didn't know it, but often it was there in the people, in my friends that were helping, that were being there when I needed them most. But I'm still so tensed up and scared. It's like it doesn't sink in that you're being held. Godding, if you'll allow the weird term. It's godding. If we are terrified or filled with anger or hate, or just too busy running around doing things that we think we have to do, it's very hard to recognize the good in our lives or to experience and find any harmony and balance, or to be open to that circle of life. How many of us seem to get the best ideas when we're showering? Any of you do that? I do. Opening up can be as simple as focusing on the sensual pleasure of a hot shower. Science tells us there's a dopamine boost, and with the body on autopilot, the brain switches to a mode similar to daydreaming, which connects disparate ideas and memories. Showering is a low-stakes activity that provides necessary white space to think freely. You've experienced that. Or other times when we're doing things, sometimes washing dishes will do it. Maybe, I don't know, I don't do that much loading the dishwasher. It's not one of my favorite things, but washing dishes I like. Many tribes teach that we must walk in step with the universe to walk in beauty. We must be open to the greater circle. Sometimes I talk about the congregation within the walls and then the congregation without the walls. The Native Americans think of that similar thought. So they have the circle of life that circles within us, and then they have the greater circle that circles all of life, all of creation. And we must be open to the greater circle, recognizing with humility and respect where we stand in relation to everything else. And that relationship should always be one of reverence and of generosity and reciprocity. Many tribes speak of the circle of life or the web of life, which is an appropriate description of the complex set of relations in which we all live. If you'd like, you can look in the front of your hymnal. Some of you newer people that don't know, we have our Unitarian Universalist principles listed in the first printed page in the hymnal. Well, after the contents, first printed page after the contents. Our principles and purposes are listed there. These were last approved in 1995 when the hymnal was printed. So there have been a few adjustments. There's an 8th one now. But if you'll read, the 7th principle is respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Sometimes I am amazed at these principles and our beliefs and things that I'll be studying any religion, it doesn't matter. And here's this same principle coming through. These are very universal principles, I think. Everything has a purpose in the greater circle of life. All things have a life of their own, and all of these are sacred, and each has a sacred reason for existing and a purpose to fulfill in the greater scheme of things, and are to be respected as a special part of the greater circle of life. In the process of living, there's always something to learn, something to experience, something to understand. We are lifetime learners, as are Native Americans and many other people. This chosen opening up seeks a place of calm in the circle through harmony and balance, a connection of four realms: mind, body, spirit, natural environment. And it is the relationship of each part to the others that creates that special flow of energy that is called life. Consider squirrel medicine and the many lessons offered by that little brother. Squirrel is in the spirit of gathering, teaching us to always plan ahead, to be prepared, and to always have plenty to share with others if need be. Squirrel teaches a way of burying a special seed and watch it grow until the beautiful tree that will protect others in the future. Squirrel offers another lesson: not to gather too many things that become cumbersome, impractical, or harmful. Sometimes it's important to lighten our load of things that do not meet our needs, such as destructive thoughts, worries, pressures, stresses, or relationships that are hurtful. We do not need them. As Squirrel knows, there is a certain balance that must be struck in the process of gathering, in which one is prepared and fulfilled, but not overloaded or overwhelmed. Squirrel scurries up the tree to a special hollow where he stores all of his goodies. This special place for us is an untroubled heart and mind, a place for storing the right amount of wisdom and caring. Sometimes opening up to the universe requires we let go of things that weigh us down and disrupt our movement. Sometimes, if our hands are closed or completely full, we have to choose to drop something in order to open them up. And at other times, we just have to open our hands in order to receive what the circle has to give. There are good and bad experiences depending on individual interpretations. What we take away from each experience varies from situation to situation, and is simply a matter of perspective and choice. If we label it good or bad, it's simply a matter of perspective or choice. Unfortunately, we sometimes get so caught up in troubling experiences and destructive thoughts and feelings that we are unable to experience the fulfilling ones. Imagine this: selecting a rock to represent each one of your troubles. Here's one, and here's one, and here's one, and here's one. How many problems do we carry? Well, let's carry a rock for each one of them and keep them with you all the time. And even when you're trying to sleep, keep those rocks. That's what we do, and we sleep with all those troubles, or we try to. Lie awake, burdened down with our problems or our rocks. We can't put them down, at least not until there's a good reason to put them down. That good reason, we choose to put them down. We have to make the decision. And it's hard. In a very real sense, we do not allow ourselves to experience the good experiences and to open up until we are ready, until we decide that whatever burden we are carrying is no longer worth carrying. Once we have mastered squirrel medicine and the balance between gathering and letting go, the next important step in the opening up process is to teach ourselves to experience not only through the mind, but also through the senses. Funny, I grabbed my heart, but it feels like the senses, all the senses. Through the senses now, we've done the mind, now we're going to sense. To use our senses, it requires patience, openness, wisdom, and again, often letting go. Opening to the universe through our senses means really feeling life as it happens within you and around you. We learn to be still, to listen, to observe, and enjoy the beauty around us with a sense of joy and great humility as we experience our true place in creation, in relationship. Everything has energy, and we can perceive the energy in every living thing. With childlike fascination, writes Garrett, touch things around you, feel them, listen to them, and really look at them, all while asking permission and giving thanks to them. How many of us, maybe I shouldn't ask you to raise your hand, you might feel a little foolish, but how many of us talk to our plants or talk to things that they have energy, they respond, you're in relationship, an energy relationship. With this presence of mind, when you are receiving, it is only natural to continue the circle by giving in return. That's reciprocity. You receive and you give. You receive and you give. The circle of life turns on generosity and kindness. However, it is also important to give to those who appreciate what you have to offer, and let go of those who do not. Or maybe don't hold them quite as close. Put them out here so they can do you no harm. The final thing to remember about opening up to the circle of life and to the universe is ever expanding awareness that the smile is something sacred and should be shared whenever possible. When a baby smiles for the first time, the child has begun to open up to the universe. Yes. In an ever-expanding awareness that he or she is alive, and to an ever-increasing presence of mind that need not fade as we grow older, but can flourish as we grow older. Even if we have nothing else to give, we have a smile. We can give this in reciprocity to others. We can warmly give a smile to ourselves. The elder or the wise child reveres the wisdom of the world and maintains a sense of mystery and wonder, never forgetting the importance of the first smile. I chose Wo Ya Ya today as our closing hymn because precepts such as walking in step with the great circle, all in good time, and the rule of acceptance are Native American teachings as well as those of the South African Liberation Movement. Woyaya means something like we are acting with hope. Let us sing Woyaya, right? I don't have my order. What's that?
That's supposing him.
Oh, we better do that. But we'll sing Woyaya in a minute. Amen.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Community Church Unitarian Universalist is a self-sustaining congregation. Members and friends' generosity help us do the sacred work of bringing justice, spirituality, and compassion to our community and beyond. You can give online by text or in person this morning. See the information on the back of your order of service for giving by text. This is second Sunday of the month, so it's our custom to take up a special collection. And did you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So the No Law Solidarity Choir is a community choir here in New Orleans. We write and sing revolutionary music in order to raise money for commissary funds and bail funds. And pretty much what we do is we'll like find prisoners and we'll give them like micro grants so that they can afford to eat for that week, or maybe get some toothpaste or like tampons or whatever, because they keep you in a state of deprivation. We just recently got out, bailed somebody out of jail, and so that they could keep their baby, because they were about to lose their baby. And so that kept that family together. But also we'll raise money for any fundraiser that people like, you know, and we try to cross-pollinate funds with other non-profits, or like, you know, just total grassroots things that are unable to receive funds from grants. We'll cross-pollinate some of our money that we raise to them. It also, the choir acts as a safe entry point for youth to start thinking about radical ideas and leftist politics in a way that isn't like getting them to go canvas or say. It's fun and accessible for you know. And when I say youth, I mean young adults. So it's a really positive thing. And if you ever feel like you're just like in despair about the state of the world and the way things are going, you should come and listen to this choir, because it's like 3 hours straight of just, and like you'll feel like we're going to win. Like we're not going to lose. Like the reactionaries are going to lose. We're going to win. And you'll feel it. So it's every Tuesday night at 6:30 above Three Muses on Frenchman Street. So if you're ever just feeling really down about the news, come check out what we're doing, and I feel like you'll really dig it. So we really appreciate y'all for collecting money for us. It's going to go to prisoners. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Let's join in the offertory hymn. In your teal hymnal, number 1059, may your life be as a song, number 1059.
Sorry, I forgot to say earlier, if you're giving online, please make sure to indicate whether you're giving for your pledge or you're giving for Second Sunday collection, so that we can keep Jolie sane. Thanks.
Life be as a song.
Kindness, respect, generosity, and patience are not simply ways of acting, but ways of living and feeling. The way of harmony and balance is not a part of life, it is life. And when we live in accordance with the natural way of harmony and balance, we become part of the sacred flow in an ever-moving stream of life energy and natural beauty.
Our closing hymn is Guyaya,
Oh, and it's 10:20.
1020 in your teal hymnal. Please join in our chalice extinguishing found in your order of service. We extinguish the chalice here that it might flow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. Please join us for conversation and refreshment in the fellowship hall.